Hey everyone, and welcome back to my Completionist playthrough of the Baldur's Gate Saga with SCS, and in this episode, let's see what really is going on in the Copper Coronet. So first I'm going to have Yoshimo have a little conversation with Madame Nin, and try to hire some companionship. And this is not going to go the way you might be thinking it is going to, but from this companion that shows up, we are going to be able to get some clues. And I had Yoshimo do this because I wanted, a female companion to arrive here. And when we have this conversation with her and say that we would like to get to know her better first, she's going to mention that she's a slave. And apparently the slave trade goes on. There is a terrible compound here in the slums and many come through it, as did I. So of course we're going to do everything in our power to stop this business. And now also, if you remember Vyra from the last episode, she threw us out of her room, and if we pester her a little bit more, she's going to get pretty mad.
Are you interested in some thrills, darling? Are you interested
Get out now!
Are you
That's it. Madame Nin is going to hear about this, and she is going to go to Madame Nin, and because of that we wouldn't be able to hire any more companionship anymore, so that's why I wanted to do the conversation with Kaminda there. Now she got stuck a little bit, but she's going to be fine in a second. And now this one is also pretty funny, because Yoshimo apparently recognizes this guy, and he's going to run as well. Alright, so Vyra considers us idiots, and Madame Nin says that we've been far too much trouble, and we wouldn't be able to do anything more with that. Anyway, now let's, if you remember the lovely lady Tiana from last episode, who's been looking for her husband Rumar.
Yes,
Rumar is here with a giggly lady, and he asks us not to tell his wife that he is here. But, there's a couple of different outcomes here that I want to showcase. So, let's actually...
You! Have you seen my husband? I know he's in here somewhere!
She's so pleasant to listen to, isn't she? Anyway, let's actually tell her that Rumar is here in the back rooms. So she's going to check that out immediately.
Darling? Don't you darling me! You will come home with me this very instant! Yes, dear.
No, you can't have him. He's mine.
One more word out of you, wench, and it'll be your last. Wench? Wench? Listen here, you old harpy. Harpy? That's it! And they actually do fight. And Tiana normally, 9 times out of 10, wins. She's much stronger. And let's just see what the outcome here is. Yep. She died pretty quickly. My wife, you fought for me. You are damn right I did. Yeah, true love, as you can see. Sweetums. Anyway, let's see the other outcome here. And actually with the other outcome, we will be able to help Pris in her fight against Tiana. And basically, how this works is, it's not fair between the two ladies, because if we help... Actually, let's position our characters. This is going to be enough, Sinashir and Kernai. It's not fair between them, because if we attack Tiana and help Pris out that way, so that she can win, we actually can kill Tiana for 500 experience and no negative consequences to our reputation. But if we want to help Tiana and attack Pris, we are going to get a reputation loss. Because of how things are set up in-game. And she's actually worth very little experience. So, let's see the other outcome. So we've heard all that.
You can't have him. He's mine.
And now if we just take our 2 Kensai ladies and... Now it's different. Pumpkin, are you alright? Apparently she wasn't hurt too bad. But it seems like Rumar might have just switched one harpy of a wife to another. It's as you can see, 500 experience, and she has a chance. Wow, a mislead scroll. That's pretty nice. Holy, some pretty good random loot I'm getting so far in this playthrough, I have to admit. So this is going to be, we're going to be collecting some mislead scrolls for Kiranai.
What is it?
Once she gets use any item, she's going to be able to make great use of those mislead scrolls. Anyway, here's one passage to the back rooms, and here's another one. Here's kind of like the main passage. Also, we're going to talk to Animan and recruit him, actually, a little later, but for now I'm just going to leave him here. Here's also a nice potion. And since we've talked to Lehtinan, now we are welcome to enjoy the exclusive entertainments of the Copper Coronet. And let's first check out this passage. Welcome to the pit. So this conversation option is, we haven't talked to Surly, I just, informed you that Surly over there, in that other fighting pit, actually organizes dog fights, and we're going to deal with Surly a little bit later. But yeah, this conversation option makes a bit more sense if we already talked to Surly and we know about the animal fights. But here, it's better than that. Here we have the very best in live entertainment, actual combat between man and beast. Yes, of course, Eri hates that kind of thing, understandably. Yeah, so apparently the Copper Coronet has, they have their own gladiators fight for their lives in the pit. So, willing or unwilling, it makes little difference. The gladiators fight to amuse our clientele. You mean that they're slaves? Slavery is such a harsh word, my lady. Here, we think of them as purchased employees, and an excellent source of entertainment. The legalities are such a technicality. The amusements are here for your enjoyment. Let Lehtinan and his staff worry about such matters as legality. Yeah. It just depends how you define those terms, right? Alright, so when's the next fight? Apparently it's going to be happening soon. So let's check out what this is all about.
What is this? Will not take long.
Actually, let's first talk to these two spectators.
By my blood, I possess the right.
Yeah, such a good way to just relax, right?
Soon's patience, not another one.
Yeah, his wife actually thinks he's gone hunting the silly deer. They actually have a couple of different responses that they can have here. Anyway.
If I may have your attention once again, gentle folk of Athkatla, Lehtinan is proud to provide for your amusement once again. Bring your attention to the pit as we see two combatants fighting for their very lives. I trust all bets have been placed. Very well. Begin.
I will not fight. This is inhuman. How can you suffer this to continue? How can you?
You will fight because you are a slave and you have been told to fight. Refuse and be devoured for the amusement of our guests.
Yep. And the screen is a little too far down because Eri had that interjection, but this guy of course has no chance against this troll. He's holding on though. Alright, now he's dead. So yeah, that's that. Now we've witnessed the atrocities that go on in the back rooms of the Copper Coronet.
Be gone, commoner. I have my own
Actually,
business to
they
attend
have
to.
some
Soon's
conversation
patience,
options
not another
where they mention Hendak.
Do not touch me.
Apparently,
Speak and be done with
yeah,
it.
those are pretty interesting also.
one. You do know what a bath is, yes? Soon's patience, not another one.
Be gone,
Well, they don't
commoner.
want to
I have
mention
my own
Hendak, I'm not
business
going to waste more time, but they have some conversation options when they talk about like a very good gladiator named Hendak that apparently can really provide some entertainment because he's way better than the others.
If it must be done. What is it?
Anyway, let's explore further. We're going to be able to discover a hidden passage here.
What do you need? I am scarce.
Yoshimo is willing.
Speak. We'll be
and
dead
witness
certain.
some people enjoying the some Black Lotus again.
Be merry, friend.
Oh, actually, because we had Jahira, he has a chance of triggering that, but he also has, yeah, the normal line about Black Lotus.
Well met and welcome.
Oh yeah, she mentions Hendak. She can mention Lehtinan, that he is handsome or whatever, and generally under the influence of the Black Lotus, I guess she, you know, just considers everyone to be pretty alluring. Okay, who's lagging back there? It's Eri. And here's a secret passage that we're going to explore later. But first, also I should have switched this regen ring to Kiranai earlier. Let's reorganize a little bit of our inventory, because we're finally going to have some fights on our hands now. And I really don't like you having all of these different potions. Let's have, actually, those are your potions. Let's have Minsk carry some stuff for now. And also I'm thinking I want to use this Oil of Speed, but the thing is that Senashira, you know, her armor class buff already ran out, expired a while ago. So I'm not sure if I want to do, not this fight, but there's a fight a little bit later, which I wanted to do as a special kind of some quick tactics with speedy Senashira involved. And I think even though she doesn't have that armor class buff, I am going to use that
Speak.
potion of speed on her right now.
Direct me as you will.
So
Yes.
let's see what's going on here.
What it will be done.
Declare yourself.
Alright, so this is apparently a restricted area. We can tell that, you know, we're leaving and he's not going to attack immediately, but anyway, what are all these cells, man? Alright, so he's going to summon some guards. We're going to attack him with everyone, but Senashira is going to approach this guy. And maybe Kiranai, and we kind of need to spread out a little bit. Actually, Eri is not going to contribute much.
Very well.
These mages have some basic spells, nothing too dangerous, but unfortunately Kiranai got charmed.
Nature's servant awaits.
Actually, Yoshino can help out Kiranai a little bit.
Speak. With vengeance. I await
Right,
your
this guy is done.
Feel the backhand of justice.
Look in Zeravan's name.
What is it?
Go for the eyes, Boo. Go for the eyes.
Without doubt. Yes?
Great fun.
Alright,
What is it?
so that is done.
Quickly.
Very basic fight here. You can get some arrows, I guess, and a cooler looking helmet. Also, these chainmail armors sell decently well, so I'm going to take some. Okay, a scroll, actually a rather high level spell. Here with Control Undead, level 7. Dang, man, like this random loot is pretty good for us here.
I have too much in my pack as it is. You'll have to pick that up off the ground.
Okay, Jahira. Even though she's not under our control, we can still like give items to her, like stuff it in her backpack. Okay, anyway, she might stay charmed there for a while, doesn't really matter.
A moment, friend. You are obviously not aligned with our captors. Might I know your name?
So here's Handak, the gladiator leader of the slaves. And you might have noticed that he sounds very similar to Yoshimo, just with a slightly different accent. Yeah, I'm certainly not aligned with Lehtinan. Yeah, so he's a proud warrior, captured to become a slave.
I beg of you, please free us!
I have never begged before, and yet I do it now, so I might wreak vengeance on Lehtinan and end his sick and twisted enterprise. And, you know, the only, like, anti-slavery dialogue option is this one here. Just, isn't this a very tame line to utter about slavery? I have a little taste for it myself. Like, instead of just, like, oh yeah, I hate slavery, man. I help when men are deprived of their freedom of choice. I will certainly free you. But, okay, we have little taste for slavery, so I guess we will free him. Anyway, he mentions that the Beastmaster has the key to the cells. And so of course our good aligned companions obviously approve of this choice. And Kira and I might just stay here for a while. Oh, our charm expired already. So here we have a Winter Wolf displaying his ranged cold attack. Fortunately didn't do too much damage. We only have one pelt. And let's see what this unfortunate gladiator had. Just a dagger. He had absolutely no choice against that troll. Especially since trolls, in order to really kill them, you need fire or acid and to finish them off. Anyway, we're going to meet a lot of trolls later on in the game. And now there's going to be a fight on our hands here. And let's just see what spells we have available. She has Hold Animal, which is actually going to come in handy. And I think Aerie should have a... yeah, she has Slow. I'm not sure if I want to use that Slow, because I think I will not rest until later. I think so that Slow might really come in handy, and same with Holy Smite, although these animals are neutral aligned mostly. And the Beastmaster, I'm not sure if he is neutral or evil. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I guess we're just going to use Jaheira's spell, and that's going to be pretty much it. I would like to have a little bit better armor class on Senashira, because she's going to, using her oil of speed, she's going to just like get in there and use this Potion of Fire Breath, which, if everything goes alright, it should prove to be really effective. And I really don't want to use another Potion of Invulnerability on Senashira right now. So I think we're just going to get in and get out quickly before she gets or suffers too much damage. Anyway, let's get in. Yeah, so here's the Beastmaster. You can actually say that, you know, you're going to leave and he's not going to go hostile. And you can set up, you know, then when he's neutral and doesn't initiate combat immediately, you can like set up in a better way with your whole party and stuff. But let's just say it straight. We're here to flee the gladiators. Hand over the keys. Fool. Alright, so his Panther, I guess, Tabitha, and the Beastmaster are going to go hostile, and of course all of these cages open up and we're going to be surrounded by wild animals. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly use this Potion of Fire Breath on him and go back so that hopefully we can get most of these animals in that fire beam here and deal a ton of damage. And it seems like that was the case. Now we can help out Senashira with the rest of our party, and now we can go in and see what the situation with the animals is. Okay, we actually... well, you know what, Jaheira, you might use that Hold Animal on that bear, which is going to be probably the most dangerous, although the Minotaur and Tabitha should also prove to be decent combatants. And the Beastmaster actually has a very good short bow, and he's near death, so let's just use ranged weapons to quickly finish him off if we can. And then deal with the animals. Let's see what we can do here. Alright, his morale broke and the Hold Animal did not work at all, unfortunately. Yeah, Senashira is getting really destroyed over there. And the bear is down. If you kill Tabitha before the Beastmaster dies, he actually has a special line that he's going to avenge his faithful companion. Oh, and we actually got a level up already. There's going to be a big experience reward very soon that we're going to get. And we already have level 9 basically in Kensai on Senashira, so a little experience is going to go to waste, but in the grand scheme of things it doesn't matter at all. I'm going to explain more a little bit later once we get into the dual classing business. He has some decent loot. And so... oh yeah, Minsk is too far away. Let's get back to our party. Now we have the key to free those slaves. I have another one of these scrolls. Can you, like, identify this bow? Oh, what's your lore, Harry? Only 31, and you have 33. Alright, so Yoshima wasn't able to identify that. Anyway, this is the Tuigan bow, which is a short bow with an additional attack on it. So as you can see, normally Yoshimo has the base number of what a short bow provides, so just 2 attacks. Well, it's a nice base number of attacks, so it's 2 attacks per round. But with the Twiggen bow, it's a +1 short bow that gives him +1 damage actually, and +1 Thaco of course, but also increases the number of his attacks to 3. So this is an excellent bow in the game.
Yes?
And also we have this plate mail, which I guess Jaheira could use. And perhaps we can give her this amulet and use the Mail of the Dead on Minsk. So we improve our general armor class by a little bit, and now we can go back and free the slaves.
What is quickly and precisely?
Senashira, why are you not at our destination yet? With this speed boost. First we're going to free the kids.
You ain't from around here. I knows it.
Yeah, I'm getting out of here. She's going to bolt out. And actually this is pretty cool because both Senashira and Kirinai are level 9 now, and I'm going to... We will be able to dual class them before the big experience boost, so actually they're going to be able to have a little starting experience already in their new classes.
I'm not supposed to talk to strangers.
No, child, I'm here to let you free. Quickly now, we are not here to hurt you. You are free. Anyway, let's just first level up. Although I wanted to do a separate episode about like everything dual class related, but let's just, I guess, this didn't work out as I planned. I wanted to finish the slavers first and then dual class. Anyway, let's level her up. So level 9 is another big level up in a Kensai's life because we get big boosts to our saving throws. We get another proficiency point and the usual, you know, Thaco reduction, and this is the last level in a fighter's life, level 9, where we get the full D10 fighter hit points. So she gets 10 of course, and like starting from level 10, fighters only get 3 hit points as a static amount. Anyway, and also as at level 9, she also gets the other like +1 Thaco and +1 damage coming from being a Kensai, getting that +1/+1 boost every 3 levels. So now we can have Grand Mastery in Warhammer, which is of course going to give her another half of an attack. So through Grand Mastery she basically gets a whole another attack, and this also compared to High Mastery gives her +1 damage, and of course the -2 to speed factor, which doesn't really matter, but the thing that matters is that half of an attack. That's the big reason to go as high as, you know, Grand Mastery. A great boost. So now she has, well, with the All of Speed, now her number of attacks is a little inaccurate, but I think she's going to have like 3.5 base number of attacks. Oh, this is going to be great, you know. Once we get access to some speed weapons, once we get her mage levels up, this is going to be good. This is going to be great. So yeah, the same deal with Kirinai. Although we are going to, like I said in the introductory video to Baldur's Gate 2 portion of our Saga playthrough, I think I'm going to go with... first I'm going to aim to reach Grand Mastery in daggers with her. I think she's going to be primarily kind of using thrown daggers for now, and scimitars are going to be the second in line. So anyway, when it comes to these proficiency points and everything, this is all going to make sense a little bit later with how I'm developing these characters, although this is pretty straightforward, you know, Senashira at least.
What is it?
Anyway,
Speak. This will not take
let us now free Hendak.
You have the key! You have it! Thank the gods!
Thank you truly, my friend, for what you have done.
We are free, my brothers! Go now and free the women! Hendak will strike his blade into the heart of our so-called owner, so that he shall never trouble you again. Go and savor your freedom!
Praise be, we are free! Free at last!
Thank you again, my friends. Now, to the task of killing that fiend Lehtinan. Assist me if you wish. Otherwise, stand and watch the vengeance of Hendak be fulfilled.
Run! Run! The slaves have escaped!
Those are the noble spectators here.
Ah! Run for your lives! They'll kill us for certain!
And here, if you're familiar with Baldur's Gate 2, you might recognize Valigar's voice actor. And yeah, so Hendak is now going to go through the hallways,
Yes?
and we're going to also witness some other slaves already fighting the guards.
I'll test your metal with cold steel.
Slaving bastard, my family's blood still stains your hands. We're going to help them out, of course.
I don't
What
like
is
the
it
looks of
must be
this.
done? Speak.
Hendak is going like straight for Lehtinan.
I'll test your metal with cold steel.
Alright, of course Senashira receiving damage
Yes?
as a Kensai with like no buffs.
What is it? It will be done.
Oh, Nalia even is helping us out here.
Yes?
Okay, and now we're going to just let Hendak deal with the matter at hand here. Let him get his revenge.
What? Hendak? You ignorant, barbaric slave! You're behind all of this chaos, aren't you? I'll take it out of your hide.
Enough, fiend. You no longer own me. And I'll ensure that you no longer claim ownership over any other as well. I've survived your hellish fighting pit for years. You are no match for me.
We shall see.
Yeah, Hendak is right. He is much stronger than Lehtinan is. So we're not going to interfere in his
Feel the backhand of justice.
revenge. Let him get the finishing blow.
There. It is finally over, Lehtinan. All the years of cruel and evil acts that you have committed for nothing more than coins in your pocket. Burn in the abyss, fiend! I owe you my thanks once again.
Yeah, as do all those you have freed. I intend to take this place as payment for my slavery to ensure it is never used as such again. And here's a big experience boost. Doesn't really matter all that much. Like I said, I want to have a separate episode. The next one is going to be all about dual classing our Kensai ladies, when I want to go through the process and just explain and talk about, you know, having the time to talk about everything I want to discuss when it comes to dual classing. So this boost, we're going to have a couple of, 1,000 of experience going to Senashira and Kiranai's level ups that will go to waste ultimately, but this is, in the grand scheme of things, this is very, very little, a completely insignificant amount. I wish I did not have to ask, but there is one more task that needs doing. The slavers remain at large within Athkatla, hidden at their base here in the slums. So we've already heard about this, like, large operation of the slavers taking place in the slums. They have many children yet that they retain as slaves. I would ask of you to rid the city of this infestation once and for all. Yeah, more slavers in the city? Very well. We shall do what we can. Yeah, this is going to be pretty much our next destination, I guess. Just to the main slavers compound before I think we start anything else. Yeah. So yeah, there is a dry docked boat just across the way on the east side of the slums. Yeah, but it might be risky to approach openly, and there is a secret passage to the sewers connecting the Coronet to the slaver base, and we are going to use that passage. He does not know where it might be, but we've already seen in that long, narrow hallway that other secret passage, and that is the way to the sewers. Of course, Minsk is outraged, and Boo is outraged by the prospect of, having children enslaved. We will be able to have a chance to strike at the heart of slavery. Yoshimo just being cautious, as always. So yeah, Jahira and Eri leveled up. Also, this big experience boost is also wasted on characters like Yoshimo, for example, which we're not going to keep, and Eri, which we're not going to keep, and Minsk, that we're ultimately not going to keep. So, it doesn't really matter all that much.
Direct me as you will.
Here, let's just loot Lehtinan's corpse for some goodies. He always has the same stuff. Some money, some jewelry, and some scrolls. Do you have still space, Yoshimo? Yes, you do. What's your pickpocketing?
I think.
Oh, it's dropped already. Alright. That's not bad. I just was thinking about succumbing to Yoshimo's evil influence and, Yoshimo's whispers that he wants to steal more. that he just utters those whispers into my ear all the time. Because now Bernard, I think if you explore more of Handak's, or actually if you report to Handak after dealing with the main slaver bunch, or maybe if you explore some of his other conversation options, I don't remember right now off the top of my head. Anyway, he mentions a discount for us because of what we've done. So here, that's why the dialogue option is like that, and it really is. There is a discount because this light crossbow speed now, instead of costing us like 7,000, it costs us much less now. Anyway, now he has some better inventory, and this is the Blade of the Roses. It gives you +2 charisma, okay, and it's a +3 longsword. So that's a new thing that he has now. He has this Mauler's Arm, which really is a very underwhelming mace for any type of like fighter with better strength. The maces are really underwhelming in Shadows of Amn, at least. And then we have this Morning Star with a decent kind of on-hit property, but there are way better flails and Morning Stars in the game. This Sling of Seeking with like unlimited bullets, that's something that was introduced in Baldur's Gate 2, and basically these projectile launchers like bows, crossbows, or slings that actually generate their own ammo, and the thing you can do with them is actually load actual ammo and get like even better results from them. Like I'm going to talk more about that once we go to Watcher's Keep, I think, and check out the store there. Here we go, Stonefire, really good axe that you can get really quickly, especially if you just steal it from Bernard. You know, you can get a +3 axe with 2 fire damage on it. This is great for Korgan. Azure Edge is a nice anti-undead weapon that we're going to obtain eventually. It has a chance of just destroying them, killing them immediately. And there's going to be a couple of anti-undead weapons like that. And Azure Edge is one of them. So now, you know, he had all these scrolls before, but now he has a couple of more of really good scrolls. And I just wanted... you know, I hoped that Yoshimo's buffs would still be intact, so that we could get these spells already, but I guess we're going to have to steal them later. And I'm going to see if we have Remove Magic and these like cheaper ones, which I'm going to buy. I guess Remove Magic is well worth it to just buy right now, but these spells are, as you can see, a little bit too expensive for our pockets right now. So they're going to have to stay in Bernard's inventory for a while yet. Anyway, I think this is going to be it for this episode. We've dealt with the slavers in the Copper Coronet, but there are more in Athkatla, and right now the first order of business that we're going to do is of course dual classing our Kansai ladies, and that is going to happen in the next episode. So thank you for watching this one, and I'll see you next time.